Hello, this is Jer. I'm playing Oxygen Not Included, and then I'm in the Moonlet cluster, and I'm on cycle 10 of this playthrough, so still early days. I am working on building a place to build an incubator because I just built my first stable, and I'm going to start to build more stables. Each stable can fit three pips comfortably. And I've got quite a few pips around this world, which is working out really nice. So actually trying to use this pip that's in the bottom to plant wild plants. They've planted two so far, and we'll see if I can get the four, because I ultimately want a nature reserve down there, up morale by 6 for all those that go through it. So one of the things about wild plants is there's a limit, and perhaps I'll talk about the specifics another time, but there's a limit of how many wild plants can be around before a particular tile, depending on whether a pip will or will not actually put a seed in that spot. Anyways, so the general rule is remove any wild plants within the vicinity of 5 to 6 tiles around something, and that can vary depending on the size of a plant. But anyway, let's go back to these two stables. I've got two stables, one that's full, because as I mentioned, actually it's over full technically, because notice there's a little egg there, but anyway, we'll deal with that later. That is going to house an additional 3 pips, so I'll have 6 pips just within those two stables. So over here, I'm going to take the eggs that those pips lay, and I'm going to run them through an incubator. Anyway, that'll do for cycle 10. Let's move on to cycle 11. This is cycle 11. Actually, no, this is Jer, but I'm playing cycle 11. So I've just set up another stable, and I've realized I want to build an incubator, but I can't do that without some refined metal. So I'm building a rock crusher. Actually, going to bring that over by one, because I want to put a bin next to it, and that's going to store aluminum ore. And that's going to be the input to this machine. So when my dupes have some spare time, they'll throw some aluminum ore in there. So whoever is operating that doesn't have to go too far when they're looking to refill that with more aluminum ore. I need a fair bit of it because I need some for the incubator, which is going to go right next to this bin. But I also need some for automation conveyor system, which I'm going to build fairly soon, because one of my dupes already has the Metatronic skill. That was just one of their traits when they arrived. So notice this room has an extra egg, and as I mentioned, I'm marking these eggs as to be sweeped. And I'm going to put, I essentially told that bin at a high priority, that's going to be next to the incubator in the future, to put eggs in there, only eggs that are sweeped. And what I'm going to do once they're in there is remove them, just throw them on the ground, because you don't want eggs to stay in a bin. They get converted to cooking eggs that ultimately can be converted to, was it scrambled eggs? Oh no, it was omelet. But anyway, I don't want omelets. I want meat, because I'm going after the carnivore achievement. Okay, I've just had a thought. I'm going to research an electrolyzer, because I should have done this earlier on. I know better in this particular asteroid that you need. We're actually doing all right, but we're going to run into problems soon. So the oxylite is pretty much run out. I'm going to run into severe problems if I don't get this thing researched and find a water supply for it. So I'm going to supply the water next to the bottle pitch. And that's going to need power, so I'm building a wire. So while scientist is doing the research to be able to unlock this technology, I might as well at least build a wire, so that when I eventually build this pump, I can have it powered up. And the moment they finish the first research, which is the pump and pipes, and they're working on the electrolyzer, I'll then, so I've just noticed there's a little critter in here that I might actually leave them and wait for them to become wild, or not become wild, become tame, because one of the achievements requires you, it's called, actually I already have a few achievements just by the default of doing some of the things that I do in this game, but one of them is the Critter Whisperer, and you need to tame a pip, which I've already done, but you also need to tame one of these light bug things, or shine bugs. So I might as well let that happen because they typically always die out, and the only way to get them back is to print them. All right, what was I saying? I built a. Oh yeah, I was going to. Actually, the research is completely done. Both the pipe and well, this is the end of the day, so I guess this is going to have to be finished in the next cycle. I'll see you then. Cycle 12, and I know what my priorities here. I need to get a pump and electrolyzer in. I'm eventually going to have dupes that can't breathe if this doesn't get together. I'm not too stressed. I do have enough oxygen to do this. As long as they prioritize on this, it'll get done and they'll be able to continue to breathe. So I've already started the wiring in the previous cycle. Let's just get the pipe out to where the electrolyzer is going to be, because that's the input to the electrolyzer that converts water into oxygen and a little bit of hydrogen. So hydrogen is going to be a problem, but that's another cycle problem that Jared in the future can deal with. Right now, I just need oxygen. I don't care. The hydrogen can just float up, and and I'll ignore it for the time being. So because this is a priority, I'm going to stop producing aluminum. I need that for food production with some of the automation equipment, but I need oxygen more. So I have 16,000 calories, or almost 17, so I'm okay for the short term. Not that a little bit of automation is going to turn around any meat instantly anyway. But oxygen, on the other hand, if I run out of that, my dupes are going to be falling over. So electrolyzer is in. I just need to wait for that pump to be built. And someone will probably... Oh, I've got a new printing item. Not ready for a new dupe. Hopefully... Oh, yes! What do I do? Hatch. I'm going to take food. 12,000 and some calories. 29,000. Okay. I'm going after locavore achievement, so I have no planter boxes in case you're joining for the first time. Anyway, I'm going to construct or clear out a spot for more stables because once I have this electrolyzer on, I need to work on that. Anyway, that is the end of this cycle, and I'll see you next one. Cycle 13. Okay, if anything's going to go wrong, it's going to be unlucky 13, right? Let's see how this goes. So I'm going to double my stables. Currently have two small stables with 3 pips each. So they'll go from ultimately able to hold 6 pips to 12. It's going to be the same look as the other ones. It's going to have the grooming station in the same spot, the drop off in the same spot. I'm going to put a bin in there as I did before to get some arb trees growing. And I'm going to build some tiles where I don't want those arb trees to grow. And that's also going to, in addition to that, allow the dupes that are running across to run a little bit faster, 50% run speed. I'm going to build some ladders there, just a kind of way of giving the pip a cue not to plant anything on that left tile. It's generally best to, if you're using the pip to plant wild plants, to go from left to right, because when they check to see whether they can plant something there, they look 5 tiles to the right and 6 to the left. So just basic rule is always go left to right if you can. All right. So this is going to be the centerpiece, as I mentioned, that incubator. I don't know that they'll create it in this cycle, but let me just turn down the aluminum and get dupes to concentrate on building that. In the next few cycles, I'll hopefully be able to put that thing to use once it's built. Anyway, see you in cycle 14. Okay, we made it past 13 without any issues, so let's keep on going. So my dupes are going to hopefully finally construct that incubator because I'm very excited to get that into operation. But let's check the oxygen levels. It is low, but the electrolyzer has only been running for a little bit, so I'm hoping that's going to increase over time. That thing can produce 888 grams a second of oxygen. Dupes each consume 100 unless they have special traits otherwise. So, but it does become overpressured. Anyway, I just did some research for some automation because that's going to be a centerpiece to this incubator. Okay, so oxygen-wise, we're plenty good. I only have 4 dupes right now, so that one machine will be they'll completely suffice for the time being. It's really going to be a limit of hydrogen. I'm going to have to deal with that before anything else. I can see it pulling up in a few places. Not really going to be an issue for the time being. I noticed some eggs, or at least one egg in there that needs to be. If I sweep that one of the dupes will quickly, hopefully, grow. one of the pips got stuck in door. I'm not sure how that happened, but whatever. If I wrangle them, they should be able to rescue it, send it in an area where it can be groomed. Okay, so at this point, I'm manually removing eggs, and that's why I did that research for the automation, so that I can automate the process of getting eggs out of those rooms when they're there. I'm also going to use automation around the incubator, and it doesn't look like I'm going to have that in operation for this episode, but in this next episode, I really hope to plug it in and put in some automation, get that to use to apply the lullaby effect. That is cycle 14, and I will see you later. All right, totally crushed it in this episode with a rock crusher. No, nothing really exciting happened in this episode, but I did get a rock crusher, and that made some refined metal, which allowed me to build a incubator. Didn't turn it on, but because it's not powered. But in this next episode, well, hope in the next episode, I'll be able to power it on, and with some help of some automation, be able to set it up in such a way that I can incubate all the eggs with just one incubator. So, and that's going to be the key to getting the carnivore achievement in this game, as well as just access to food, because I can't build any planter boxes, as I mentioned, because of the locavore achievement. Anyway, one thing to say is it is easy to overestimate how much you can get done in a cycle, because the cycle will be done and you realize, oh wow, I'm only halfway done something. I don't know if you've noticed that in the game, but just something you have to plan for. If you need something done in 1 or 2 cycles, it's best to realize it's going to take 3 or 4. Anyway, that will do for this episode. Hopefully see you in this next episode. If you like this series and want to keep seeing more, like this video and subscribe, and I'll see you in a future episode. Till then, cheers, signing out.